Hey, how's it going, everybody? Coach D here from All Out Athletes. And I really want to thank you once again for joining us on our podcast, as we are performance coaches and we have studied the mental skills and attitudes of athletes during their training, the amount of focus and energy that they put into their training, and the attitude that they have when they go through the hard times. And we're here to share that with you so we can help you get to the next level of your game. That's why we're here. It's about how can we help you become that athlete that you so desire to be. And with me is one of our performance coaches, author, professional speaker, motivational speaker, and professor in sports psychology, the athlete igniter, the great Dr. Gilbert. How's it going, Doc?
I'm okay.
What's going on?
How are you?
You feel low energy?
Let me ask you a question. You do that, and people don't realize how many takes we do of these things. And every time you have your energy level up, every single time, do you always feel energized?
No, I don't always feel it.
Yeah. So that's what we're getting across. You don't have to feel it to do it. I don't feel like it. We've talked about this so many times. Just do it, and then you'll feel like it. A professional is a person that does it best when they feel like it least. You don't have to feel like it to do it, but once you start doing it, you'll feel like it. You don't have to be energized to act energized. You don't have to be happy to smile. So let me tell you a little story about a pen. And they did a study, and they had people come in, college students come in, and they had to rate their mood. And then they gave them a pen, and they said, bite down on this. They bit down on that. And then they had to rate their mood, and they were happier after they bit down on the pencil or the pen. Now, I know you think this is stupid. They were happier after they bit down on a pen or pencil. Why? Because when you do this, you're activating your smile muscles. So when you say, oh, well, I don't feel like practicing today, act energized, and then you'll feel energized. So that's the whole thing. So every time you see Coach G, that's what I want you to think about. You say every single time, is his energy real or is it fake? It really doesn't matter. Like if you play the role of the king or the queen on Broadway, you have to start acting the role of the king or the queen. Are you really the king or the queen? No, you're acting the role. But here's where the magic happens. Sometime after a month or a year, sometime you actually become the king or the queen. You actually become the role. You're not acting as if you are. Now, we can't tell you how long it takes, but Coach D has been doing this so long, it's just like that, it's just like a snap of the hand. He just flips the switch and it's there.
Doc, and so you have to activate that inner energy. You have to ignite that inner energy that you have. And you asked, do I always feel like it? I don't always feel like it, but I can tell you this, Doc. It doesn't take me 10 minutes. It takes me like 10 seconds. And ACE, action creates energy. Once I get into it, that's when I start feeling it. But if I wait till I start feeling it, I'll never do it. And that's how it is for you. If you wait till you start feeling it, it's not going to happen. You have to act it, and then you'll feel it. As we've said before, your movement will actually change your moods. It will. Your behavior will change your belief system. You start acting a certain way, you start feeling a certain way. ACE, again, action creates energy. Just get out there. Take action. You put your actions ahead of your feelings, and I guarantee you, your feelings will follow. Now, it may take longer than 10. I've been doing this for we've known this secret for a long time. People say, Coach D, you always have a lot of energy. But that doesn't mean I feel that way all the time. How would you feel if you're working with a coach and the coach acted how he felt or acted how she felt? What if they had low energy? You wouldn't want to work with that coach. You don't care how they feel. You just want them to be into what you're doing. You want the coach to be totally into everything you're doing to make you the best player. You don't care how they feel. You don't care how the dentist feels when he's working on your teeth. You don't care how the doctor feels when he's saving somebody in your family's life. Nobody cares how to feel when it's go time. When the lights come on, it's time to perform. Is your performance based on your feelings or based on your actions? Let your actions take over. Let them take over your life. When you let your actions take over your life, your energy into your training will be higher than any. It would be so noticeable in the gym. I'm telling you, how many parents see that one energy? There's always that one game or competition you go to where there's that one athlete that's just so energized. They're all over the place. And they're so energized and focused on what they're doing. They're above everybody else. And parents go home not talking about their kid. They're talking about somebody else's kid at the dinner table. They're talking about how energized that athlete is. And that depends if you put your actions ahead of your feelings. That's up to you. That's the choice you make every time you go out to train.
Okay, so let's see if you're a psychic. I know you say you're psychic. I am thinking of a part of The Last Dance. What segment am I thinking about in The Last Dance? What moment am I thinking about?
So The Last Dance was a documentary on ESPN about the championship NBA life of Michael Jordan and his incredible focus and energy that he had that was above and beyond almost any athlete in the world.
What
Okay,
game
Doc.
am I thinking about?
What game? Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah.
What game?
Yeah.
I don't know which one to mention. Was it Game 6, 1998?
Well, what game did he act above his feelings?
Oh, is that the game he had pneumonia? Or the
Yeah.
game he was, I mean,
Yeah,
you know how many times he had it?
Now, I don't know if it was a flu. I don't know if it was a bad pizza. I don't know if it was food poisoning.
Right.
But here he was. He could barely stand up. And I don't know, would he play like 38 minutes? And he was unbelievable. Michael Jordan, he just puts himself out there. He acts differently than he feels. He acts different than his health was. His health was here. His performance was here, Unbelievable. There's so much to be learned from watching The Last Dance. So what does this have to do with you? What does this have to do with you? Most people are trapped by their feelings. I don't feel like it. Study when you don't feel like it. And the more you study when you don't feel like it, then you'll overcome the resistance. Practice when you don't feel like it. See, that's an emotional barbell. When you don't feel like it, you say, great, now I can work through that. The great Jerry Rice. Some people think the greatest pro football player ever. At the end of his workouts, and in the off season, he used to work out 6 to 8 hours a day, but it'd end by running up a mountain. He had this unbelievable, torturous climb. And then when he got to the top, he did wind sprints up and down. And they said, how often do you feel like quitting? All the time. He said, I feel like throwing up all the time. So then the interviewer said, well, how do you get through it? He said, I fight through it. Every time I feel like quitting, I feel like throwing up, I say, fight through it, Jerry. Fight through it, Jerry. Fight through it, sir. So this is your takeaway. Fight through it. Fight through the boredom. Fight through the panic. Fight through the fatigue. Fight through it.
Thanks, Doc. That was great. And there's nothing like taking action. See, when our feelings come first, our goals come last. But if we put our actions ahead of our feelings, we can let our actions take care of everything. If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. And it is all up to you. All your actions, can you put your actions ahead of your feelings? You can. Will you do it today? Will you start today to make this change? You will be a changed athlete. It's up to you. Everything is up to you. And you decide. Am I going to take action before I walk out here? Well, you can decide at home. You can decide, but you won't know until you actually get out there. And then when you get out there, let your actions decide everything. Thanks a lot, Doc. We'll see everybody next week. Hey, Coach D here. Thank you for joining us tonight. And in about 40 seconds, we're going to give you a sneak peek of next week's Think Like a Champion podcast, Thursday night, 8 p.m., the first step of becoming a champion. And if you want us to come and ignite that fire within your organization, just email us, alloutathletes@gmail.com. If you want to have the hunger of a champion, Monday Morning Igniter. 8 a.m., I give a locker room speech to boost your energy and focus so you can train like a champion. Here comes your sneak peek about next week.
This class? She said, no, I've never been late to any class. Now, you might be saying, oh, this is too hard. I mean, I can't go to every class. I can't go to every practice. I can't love my sport. I can't love school. Well, if you think this is going to be difficult, if you think it's going to be difficult to show up all the time, imagine how difficult it's going to be to compete against somebody who does if you don't. If you think it's going to be difficult to love your sport, imagine how difficult it's going to be to compete against somebody who does if you don't.
You have to stay. Your competitor already started. Maybe it's 6:30 in the morning. But how many athletes have you gone up against and you said to yourself, I can't beat them? Yeah, because they've been starting while you were sleeping.
It's so easy to be better than average. But if you don't show up and if you don't have passion, you're just going to be average. And Coach D and I are at war against average. We don't want you to be average.